Hey guys, so it's Ree's birthday tomorrow and I'm going to be making her birthday cake. So I'm going to make a start. My hair's already tied back. I'm going to put my jacket on. Now, normally I measure the ingredients on camera. Unfortunately, I've had to do it slightly different today because living in Wales, it's been extremely wet weather recently. And on the way back from the shop, the flour bag got wet and so did the sugar. The sugar was unusable. It was basically one big sloppy mess. So the flour had to go straight into a lockable tub instead of its usual bag. So I pre-measured all of the ingredients to save a bit of time and to get rid of all the damp packaging. Because you should never put damp packaging in your cupboards. Okay, so have my chef's white on, I have my apron on. Let's get you guys over by here. Now, the white sugar was destroyed, so I'm going to be using 8 ounces of brown sugar, which to me, brown sugar is a little healthier than white sugar anyway. And for instance, if you were diabetic, you wouldn't be using sugar at all. So the type of sugar doesn't really matter. Not really. Not to me anyway. So, in our mixer, we are going to put... Let me move that over. We are going to be putting the 8 ounces of butter, clean hands, and then drop the butter carefully into your mixing bowl or into your processor. I'm using my blender. I will use this towel to wipe my hands. And then we have the 8 ounces of brown sugar is going to go in. Whoops, it gathered on the top. Get it off the top, otherwise the top isn't going to fit properly. There we go. And blend, mix, whatever this. Oh, never forget to put the lid on. Okay, this is going to be noisy. I will pause and I will come back once it's blended together. Okay, once it's blended together, it will look like this. And then you add 3 eggs. 1, 2. Can't quite get my thumb in there. There we go. First eggie. Second eggie. Third eggie. There we go. And then blend it again. I'll be back in a few seconds. Now it looks like it's slightly curdling. It's not, that's how it's supposed to look. But even though I'm using a blender, I will still get a spoon in and make sure that it's all fully mixed in case any gets stuck to the sides. You guys are looking in the wrong direction. You're supposed to be looking down there. Thank you. So that way then you make sure that all of the stuff on the sides is all fully incorporated. Then we add the flour very carefully. The way I do it is I add from each side first. So a bit this side, then I turn it and I add a bit from this side. And then I turn it and I add a bit from this side. That way then it's all level inside there to make it a little easier for it to turn. But before we mix it, I'm using mixed spice and almond flavouring, vanilla flavouring, sorry. So you add however much mixed spice you want. I usually just measure by eye, so I put a little bit by ear, a little bit by ear, and by ear, because me and my girls love the mixed spice flavour. Now, when it comes to the vanilla, we're going to add the vanilla and a touch of milk once we've mixed the powder together so we know what we're working with. I will be back once this is mixed together. Okay, once it's mixed, it'll look like this. Now, something I forgot to mention, the flour, it's 12 grams, 12 grams? Yeah, 12 grams of, 12 ounces, sorry, 12 ounces of flour. So the butter is 8 ounces of butter, 8 ounces of sugar, 12 ounces of flour, probably about 2 tablespoons of mixed spice. Now we're going to add let me get out my blue spoon, my measuring spoon, and we're going to add 1 whole blue measuring spoon, which is about 10 milliliters. So we're going to add 10 milliliters of, no, we're going to add 20 milliliters, sorry, of vanilla flavouring. And then 10 milliliters of milk. Okay. And then we're going to mix it again. I'll be back once it's mixed. Okay, that is now fully mixed together. You see it's quite runny. That's okay. We're going to, if we need to add more, we can add more flour, but it should be the right consistency for us to pour that into the cake tin. So I've got to butter and then line the cake tin. So we have the paper already here. But with the measuring bowl, you'll have a bit of butter left. You can always use that butter to line the tin. So you just put a bit of butter on the tin and spread it around. Only on the edges, not on the bottom. So as it looks like that inside. See that? Excuse me. And then tap out the bowl where you had the flour in, because there will be lots of remnants left, and you'll be able to coat the side of it in a bit of flour that should then stop the cake from sticking to the sides. Oop, let me drop that then. I do need a touch more flour, so I'm going to go in here and grab a little bit of flour out here and just sprinkle it. Whoop. Okay, that's a little too much, but that was my fault. But it's fine, because I can reuse what doesn't stick to the pan for something else. In actual fact, I'll probably use what didn't stick to the pan to go into the mix, and then when I remix it anyway. There you are, so it'll be a nice good dusting. We're going to pop that in there and we'll mix that. There we go. Then we take the cut sheet of baking parchment and we plop it into the bottom carefully, making sure it goes slightly up the sides each side. And it'll look like that then. We're going to pop that to the side. Be back once I've mixed this again. Okay, completely remixed with the extra bit of flour I put in there. Now we are going to pour it into the tin. One thing I would suggest if you're using one of these, remove the blade first and clean it into the bowl. Otherwise you will catch the blade, or the blade will fall out into the cake, because it's happened a couple of times with me because I don't always remove the blade. But you should remove the blade. There we go, clean as much of it off as possible. And I'm going to pop it into the dish by there, and then we should be free to then move any additional bits off the edge with the spoon. And then we can pour straight into the tin. Let's gather the remaining mix. As much. Try to gather as much out as you can. And make sure it all goes into the tin. on, Mr. Train. There we go. I've got a little bit left in the corners. The corners of a round tub. That's yeah, that makes 0 sense. I've got it stuck in the crease of the bend I meant. There we go. I've got out as much as I can. As you can see, it's pretty much empty, really. So we now go around and make sure we flatten it out, otherwise it will bake weirdly. And I'm an idiot, I forgot to preheat the oven. But that's okay. Stick the oven on now to 180. 180. Make sure that is moved up to give the cake tighter space to cook. So while that heats up, I'm going to do I'm hoping to make a buttercream for the middle of the cake that has to set in the fridge anyway. So we'll clean out the little tub we had the flour in. And Rhiannon chose orange, so I've got a little bit of orange essence left by here. And I'm not very good at buttercream, so let's see how this turns out. So I'd say 2 big tablespoons of butter, because it's only to put in the middle of the cake anyway. Some of the I'm using the cane icing sugar. Put in as much as you deem necessary, depending on if you want it thick or thin. I want it mid-range, so I'm going to say probably that, which is about, I say that's probably about 10 ounces. Right, I don't need that spoon in there now. I need the other wooden spoon. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to use my new whisk, I think. I was bought a new whisk for Mother's Day. Look, 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 it's a carrot. Don't know if it'll work, but let's give it a go. Let's see if it works. No, I need a bit more strength behind that. Good thing about this is because it's literally silicone, I can spread the whisk bits out. I could probably use it once I've mixed most of it together. Probably use it to put the flavouring in, but I need to base start it before I try to use that. So let's pop that there. We'll use a normal spoon just to mix it all, to combine it all together. Like this. There we go, it's coming along nicely. Okay, finger test, clean finger. Yeah, that's fine. I think it could do with a little tiny bit more sugar though. So like I said, just add as you need, because there's no actual measurement for this, unfortunately. I just need it to be a bit thicker than that. Okay. Because obviously I'm going to be adding a flavouring which adds liquid. It needs to be a little bit thicker. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, so first of all, let's put the lid back on my vanilla essence. I now have vanilla essence all over my hand. So we're going to go with the orange essence now, and we're going to get back the blue spoon, and we're going to add 10 millilitres of orange essence. There was only 10 millilitres left in that entire tub anyway, so that's fine. That just means I need to buy some more of that. And let's carefully mix it together. But you see how it was very yellow just now? It's actually lightened up a little. Okay, let's see now. It's very, it's gone very runny. So that's a little too runny. But I'm not sure if I should add some more sugar. This is a little runny as it is. I'll add a little tiny bit more. But I don't want to overpower it either. Okay, let's see. It's still very runny though. We are going to put it into the fridge, so maybe it'll just start make it harden up a little bit. Right. I mean, it's a little harder than it was, just not great, but I didn't add any more sugar. Okay, we're going to leave that there. That's very, very sweet. I figure if I try to mix, oh okay, this is a bit difficult to mix, but if I try to mix it with this, it might get all those lumps out maybe. Okay. Hopefully that worked a bit better. I like to see the lumps are gone now, but when you put that in the fridge, make sure you put something over the top of it to keep it fresh. So I'm going to go over it with some cling film. And because this is a new roll of cling film, I can't find the end. Ah, there it is. Oh, that's where most of it is anyway. Huh? Where is the end of this cling film? Okay, I'm confused. Can't find the end of this cling film at all. Let's see what I can do. That's weird. It's like the end starts in several different places. Oh, that's because it did start in several different places. There we go. I found the end. So we're going to take a fair amount of it so we can wrap it around the icing. And then we pop it in until... Well, this is going to go in the fridge until the cake is cooked and cooled, ready for icing and decorating. Okay, so all I got left to do now is stick the cake into the oven, put it on for about 40 minutes, I'm going to say 45 and press start, and we will be back once the cake has cooked. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so the alarm's just gone off. I have my drying rack out. Let's get the cake out. Oh. Okay, so that's how it looks. We've got to get it out here and allow it to cool. And we can turn the oven off. Okay, let's face it down so you can see this. There we go. Now, do not touch any of this tin with your hands because it's going to be boiling hot. But unfortunately, it did expand a bit, so once it's cooled, I'm going to have to cut the very tip of this off. Okay, I'm going to need my palette knife to free it from the edges. There we go. And then we carefully slide him off and throw him straight into the cold sink. Right, just carefully flip this onto my hand. Palette knife underneath the metal and then flip it into the sink. Sorry about the loud noise. Use your palette knife then to flip it back over and slide it carefully onto the drying rack. Oh, the cooling rack, sorry, not the drying rack. And then we have to wait for that to cool. It's got to be cold to do the icing and the butter bit in the centre. Now, I'll be back to do that in a second, but Ree wanted a particular type of cake. So while I was waiting for that to cook, I went and drew what she wanted. Yes, she wants a Minnie themed birthday cake. Now, my idea for this is to use roll out white icing, which I'll do in a bit. And a friend has suggested using, instead of trying to do it the way I usually do it, where I try to colour it in with the edible pens. Unfortunately, I've run out of the black and the red in those edible pens, and Minnie is predominantly black and red. So my friend said to use food gel and basically paint it on like edible paint and let the icing that you've painted set in the fridge for an hour or two before you put it onto the cake. So that's what we're going to do in a second, because if it's got a set, I may as well sort all of that out. So once I've tidied all this up, I will be back to make the mini plaque for the top of the cake. Okay, so I've set you up so as you can see what I'm doing. Remove any rings if you're working with roll-out icing, otherwise you will leave a mark in the icing. I've learned that the hard way. And of course, my red ring has a ridge in it, and so that would be very detectable. I'm going to slide it into my apron pocket. I can't get it in the apron pocket. I'm just going to put it on the windowsill. Okay, right, so we got 2 blocks of this. One big one, one for the cake. We're going to halve the, we're going to take about a quarter of this to make Minnie. It is quite hard, but we're going to break about a quarter of it off. And the rest will be for another cake, because we got an open block for the big section of the cake. So let's get you guys a bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. Plus I need to get my rolling pin out of the drawer. Okay, so make sure that there's nothing on your worktop, and knead the icing until it goes nice and soft, otherwise it's not going to be pliable. There we go, that feels much better. So we now need to roll it nice and flat. The icing tried to run away. Oh, you guys aren't. Ooh, the oven's still quite warm, but there's angle you guys down. Can you see that? That's a bit better for you to see now. Sorry, my big arms were in the way just now. Okay, so it's sticking to the worktop. Right. I wonder. Get out this. This will flip over so it's on the flat surface. There we go. Hopefully it won't, because that way then it won't stick to the worktop. And you got to follow. It literally needs to be paper thin, otherwise it's not going to. It'll stand out too much on the top of the cake. And the good thing is I can spin this board, so I don't have to keep picking it up and moving it around. Okay. Ooh. Keeps trying to do a runner. A little bit thinner. Yep, that's quite thin now. The edges look thick, but you can feel the thinness of that when you put your fingers underneath. Because obviously I want it to be, the head of Minnie to be right in the middle of this. And then we all cut around it. And then add what's left back to the block. So we now need our, sorry, hit you with my shoulder. We now need our Minnie transfer. And we need to put her upside down. And then roll over like this. There we go. And we have the outline of Minnie right there. We will need the colour pen, the black one, to outline Minnie. Let me put Minnie back up there now. So, oh yes, and at some point I get to test my new cake spinner to help me ice the cake. So when I'm icing the cake, I will be using that. These are special brushes because they're used for edible paint. What I need right now, out of my decoration box, is that's where I keep all of the special stuff for making cakes. But I need these, because I need this black pen here. Hopefully there's enough left in that to actually draw the outline of Minnie. Whoops. Just let me do them all up for a minute. That's it. Right. Get the edible pen out so that we can draw the outline on Minnie. There we go. It's a bit fiddly because it's hard to draw on the icing, because the icing being rolled out and moulded has made the icing very, very soft, so it's quite difficult to draw on now. Okay. It's running out. Oh no! Please don't run out until I finish this. It's getting there, but it is so fiddly. Okay. Okay, this is it. Yeah, it's definitely running. It's definitely running out. I just needed to finish the eyes. I just needed to finish the eyes. Just about finished doing the outline of Minnie. Oh, okay. Well, I definitely need to. I need to get more of the edible pens because we're running very low on that. Okay, so what I've got to do now is take each of the colours I need. So I know that Minnie's bow is pink. At least her character one is pink. I'm going to do blue for Minnie's eyes. I need the black for her ears and her face. I need red for her tongue. Right, so I'm going to take this. I need like a little tub or something. I do what this will do. The lid of this will do. Sorry about the slam. I didn't mean to do that. I hit it with my bum. So we're going to put colours onto this plastic lid here. For the colours that we need. Oh, I dropped it. I dropped the black on the floor. Okay, I can't undo the black one. Here we go. Oh god, this one, I've never used the black one, so it's quite stiff to use. But that's good. It's the first time I've used it because I haven't used the black one before. I've got the red, got the black, the pink. I have used this pink quite a lot. There might not be much of it left. No, I don't know so much. There does seem to be quite a bit in there. Oops. Kind of. Why does the pink look more red than the red? Oh, please. No. Don't tell me I made it. No, it's pink. The tub is pink. I want to do a tester though, so give me the little one, and I'm going to do a little test of this on here. Okay, so it's drying quite quickly, so I'm going to need to make sure that I get it done as quick as possible. It is quite gooey. Okay. Okay, well it works. It's a bit gooey and sticky, but Okay. Ooh, this is a bit fiddly. Oh god, it's so sticky. Stop sticking. Okay. Right. See if I can get a nice big amount on this so I can spread it a bit easier and quicker. There we go. Oh god, it's so sticky. It's trying to stick the brush to the icing. I see if I can directionize most of these lines, otherwise it just looks messy. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Okay, I mean it's working, but it's also very sticky and messy. Oh, I nearly screwed all of that work up then. Here we go. Well, that's Minnie's bow almost done. I'm doing the middle of the bow a different colour though. Right, now, I need to get a bit of water on this. Clean that brush off of the colour I just used, so as I can do another colour. Now I'm going to do, I think some yellow. The yellow in the middle of the bow. Bit of yellow in the middle of the bow, which I think is going to end up looking orange and not yellow, but we'll see. Where did I put the, oh there it is. Okay, the yellow in the middle of the bow. Just like that. Okay, right, so that's the yellow in the middle of the bow. Swirl the brush again. Remove the excess colour. Because now we want a touch of blue. Because I'm going to do Minnie's eyes blue. And we only need a tiny bit of the blue. Tiny bit of blue for Minnie's eyeballs. Minnie's eyeballs do look a little freaky because they're blue though. Okay, let's try and tidy up the edges of her eye a minute. There we go. That'll do. As well. Clean it down. Because now we need the red for her tongue. And would you say red for a nose? I wouldn't have thought red would be a good idea for a nose, but I think we're going to have to. No, Minnie's nose is black, isn't it? No, Minnie's nose is black. I nearly made a mistake there. Swirl the red off. But the black is a lot bigger than all the rest, so I'm going to go in with the bigger brush for the black. Okay, this one feels like it might be a little fiddly here as well. Okay. Okay, let's try to fill this bit in now. Okay. It is a little fiddly to try and get it all to connect together. Okay, we're down to Minnie's nose. Okay, I think that's the best I can do, unfortunately. It's not great, but I think it's going to have to do, because that is what I'm left with at the end of it. Not great. The pink didn't come out quite the colour I wanted it to, but I think it'll be okay. I think. Now I've got to cut around it and put it on a plate and put it into the fridge. So I need a little knife from by here. That's not a little knife. 1 second. There's my little knife. So we're then just going to cut right around the edges. Take it, leaving just the edge of Minnie there. That really needs to be slimmed down a little bit more on the edge here. Okay. Yep. And then here, not here. Okay, now let's take that away and we can roll that back up, because that's still usable icing. I'll get some cling film for that in a second, and that's what we're left with for the top of the cake. So let's carefully lift Minnie. She is quite thick actually, but the icing is quite thick and it's stuck to the backboard. Okay, so she now needs to go on a plate. And she needs to go into the fridge for a hour or two, I think they said, to allow the icing to dry. Okay. Right, now put that box back together. We're just going to throw the icing colours into the bottom of the, no, we can't throw it into the bottom of the sink because we've got the cake pan in there. Oh, sorry, I've got a little bit of a twisted bra strap. Right, okay, so let's put the icing colours away. Actually, keep the pink one out for a minute. And take a little bit of the icing we rolled out just now, because I want to make a couple of little heart shapes around the outside of the cake, the outside of the side of the cake. So I need to make a hole in the middle of that ball of icing and spray some pink in there. Okay. And then we're going to roll the ball up like this. Try not to get any of it directly on your hands, which I just did. I mean, it will go on your hands. Just try not to put it directly on your hands. Oh, it's just come straight through, so don't worry about what I just said. I don't think I had enough of the icing to be able to not got it all over me. And it's made it super sticky as well. And then we roll it together like this. Just keep folding and rolling. And then at the end of it, it should be that nice pink colour. Now, I'm gonna wash my hands a minute, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, I've got two different heart-shaped cookie cutters. One's big, one's small. I'm gonna do, I'd say, see if I can do 3 of each. So I'm gonna take the icing I just made and roll it out. I'm going to combine that back together because I have spots of icing dye still on there. Okay, right. Now we need to roll it thin. Okay. Well, let's see how many of each I can get, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I got 4 of the big ones. Look at that. Now I need something to put that on. Yeah, give me another plate. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like that. Let's re-roll it out and see how many of the small ones I can get. If I can get 8 out of this, that'll be great, because I wouldn't want to put too many on. Oh yeah, I'm going to say that's rolled out quite a bit. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's given us 8 heart shapes at least. Roll this back up. One, 2. Okay, so I've got 10. I've got 2 as a backup in case anything goes wrong and I break one of the hearts or something. Always have a backup. So we have 10 little hearts here. And we still got a little bit of the pink dough, so I'm going to roll this up and leave it to the side. Maybe make a flower out of it for a muffin later on or something. It can go on top there. Okay, so they're going to go into the sink to be wiped over. That can go in here. And these are also going to go into the fridge to harden up. Now, once the once the cake is completely cooled, I will then be able to start icing it properly. So, as that's going to take at least an hour to an hour and a half for it to set, I will be back to fully do the cake, hopefully. See you in a bit. Okay, so both of these sponges are now cool. I've got them both by here, but I need to tailor them a little bit. So you see this has gone quite thick on the top. So you'll take the very top off that one. we go. Just try to flatten it out a little bit. There we go. That's a bit better now. Still too high on that side though. So let's maybe go in through this side. Okay. I think that's flat enough for it to go upside down. Tap the excess off like that. So the idea is that's going to go upside down like that. Like this. I dropped some on the floor, but that'll be fine. Now we need to take the other top off the other sponge. Like that. So those two will go together, and then it'll go over, so it'll look like that when it's together then. Okay, so take that away for a minute. Peel the baking parchment off the bottom. Oh, that went. It's not supposed to do that, but okay. There, it's supposed to come off like that. Yeah. I've never had the paper come off like that, but okay. And that's annoying, because it means that the cake dough went underneath the paper while it was baking. There we go. There we go. Now shake the bits off. Like that. There we go. And we need the buttercream from the fridge. On the bottom there. Okay. And some jam. Right, so buttercream and jam. Okay, my spatula's a little flimsy for that, so let's go in with a wooden spoon, I think. Okay, now we need to spread this all over the top of the cake. Sorry, all over the centre of the cake, I mean. Just like that. Stick that back in the jam a minute. Because we've got to get the paper off this side as well. Go, remove it like that, and we've got a piece still left by here. There. Okay. Now we put the jam on this side as well. I'm going to pop it on there, and get a big dollop of the jam on there. There we go. Fully cover it like that. Stick that back in there. And then we're going to go in with the buttercream. It may have made a little too much of it. It's a little too runny, but it'll be okay. Plus it does not want to stick to the jam at all. Okay, so let's flip this up on top of itself. Like this. Make sure it's together. Ugh, looks like it's trying to run out of there, doesn't it? Okay, so we now want jam on the very top, like this. Oh, that buttercream is sliding everywhere. I mean, it's sticking, but it's causing it to move. That buttercream is not liking the jam, is it? Oh, definitely not liking the jam at all. It's coming straight out. Okay, well, see what we can do. I'm not going to attempt to try and separate it, but that I don't think I'd do buttercream again. Yeah, so that buttercream is awful. Is there a way of me potentially removing that buttercream from here? I'm going to attempt something. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I have done my best to remove the buttercream. That buttercream is absolutely awful, so I'm not going to use it. So I've added extra jam, and hopefully everything will stick like it should. Okay, right, now I'm going to leave that at the back for a minute while we first put that in the sink, and then we start rolling out the icing. I'll tidy up and I'll be right. Okay, we now have the icing block and what's left of the icing from the topper. Let's make a start. Let's try and soften it up. one. Very big ball of icing, but it's now softened. And we're going to add that one in as well. There we go. That's a workout for you. Okay, let's move you guys a bit closer. There we go. Right, it needs to be a round ball. Okay, this is going to take a while. Okay, I'll be back once I've rolled it out as thin as I can. Okay, this is as flat as I'm going to get it, I think. This took a good 35 minutes to get this flat. So let's see how I can sort this out now. Oh, yeah, it is very flat, but it's also very thin as well. Okay, so that needs to go further over that way. Okay, it's starting to break. The ice is starting to break. Okay. Right. Now, making sure that bits of it tuck underneath and trying to keep it dead straight might be a bit of a challenge here. Right, I need my knife back. Come here. Right, I need to cut that bit away so I can make sure that this goes smoothly all the way over, all the way around. Okay, let's cut this excess off. I need it to nicely go under here. Right, too much excess this side. Oh, we have a bit that needs to be slimmed down by here. Take that bit away and then smooth it down and tuck it under. Okay, let this turn so I can remove the remaining excess from here and here and here. Like that. Okay, now make sure I can smooth it all the way over, all the way around. Okay, any little bits of excess icing can be tucked underneath. just like that, so it's just nice and smooth. It's not so smooth because that bit of icing needs to be tucked in nice and tidy now. So you can't see the edges. Now with it is a bit of a nightmare because it tore. But it doesn't look too bad. There's a few folds that shouldn't be there, but it'll be okay. Okay, now I've got this excess icing for another time. Maybe make some muffins tomorrow from, and just stick some white icing on the top of them. I can go to the side over there. Okay, so I now need the additionals for it. Oh, whoops. Okay, so I just smacked my camera with the fridge door. Is it okay? It should be okay. They're quite sturdy, but let's try not to do that again here. Oh, I need the jam from there as well. Okay, so we need the jam now to finish this. So, I need a bit of jam on the back of these. Dropped it. So, a nice big heart by you. And then we'll go with a little one. Right next to it, like this. And yes, they're not straight. And then we put another little one directly the opposite side. Oh god, I dropped that one as well. Like that. Spin it. Do another big one. You know what, we're going to do the other big one directly opposite. Here. Oh, for God's sake, stop dropping them. Clean that up. Where's my towel? There it is. Right. Now we do another little heart. One right by there. And then one, stay. Right by there. And then this side, right there, we can do a big one. A big one on its own right by here. And then flip it around and do another big one on its own. Here. Right by there. Like that. Oh, my knuckles on there. Okay, so that leaves the two spare ones that we did. Let's take a look at this. Okay, yeah, that is still quite damp. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here in the center. and maybe a little bit further over. Let's see. Oh wow, okay, that was pretty good. Pretty good, if you ask me. Got that jam exactly where it needed to be. Now, I've just got to push this lot down all the way around. There we go. There we go. Okay, so my hands. And there we have it. And then you get the sides as well. I do unfortunately have a bit of a mess there. You know what, I'm just going to put a candle there, I think. But I'm also going to cover some of that marking from where I did that. And I'm going to put a little heart there. Sorry, a big heart there. And damn it, a little heart by here. Okay, we are done. All I've got to do now is transfer it into the clip lid box, which is this. I might not be able to get the lid on that actually. Nope, the lid is too big, but it can stay on the base like that. That's a bit annoying that that won't actually go in. It'll be okay to go in as it is, but I can't put the lid on it. And this has now got to go back into the fridge, but here is the finished cake. Well, that's the finished cake. Sorry about all of the weird stuff that kept going wrong. But I am now going to clean this all away, hide this, ready for the morning, and as it is 3 AM, I'm going to go and get some sleep. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Good night.